Check it out, it's your man KP, and I like to teach. Not the smartest man in the world, but I like to read. Coming with some straight facts that you got to see. You're now rocking with your boy, Vin Arc MP.
What's up, everybody? This is Kevin Parkinson, and this is another episode of the Social Construction Podcast. I am challenging myself to make these episodes no longer than 10 minutes from now on. So that means that I have to tell you what I'm going to tell you, and then tell you what I just told you. That is good communication, and this is a great place to practice doing that. Also, I know time is of the essence. These days are getting shorter for all of us. So let's get into it. Today's podcast is actually called The Social Construction of Social Construction. You might be asking yourself, what do I mean by that? And this is what I mean by that. I don't think I've spent enough time explaining the importance of social construction and how we as a society are constructed to believe that positive social construction, such as when somebody gives you constructive criticism, isn't necessary or isn't warranted. Because like in the 1970s, when America started preaching that everybody was special, and then that leaked over into churches, and then that leaked over into workforces, and that leaked over into schools, we have a whole new generation, me included, of people who live in America, ultimately in the world, who believe that they are special individually. Some people say that I had a depressed episode once in my life. I don't think so. But for years, I'm 34 now, for years I've always thought, I'm not necessarily special because there are 7 billion people on the planet now. And ever since the beginning of the earth, there's always been about 1 billion people on the planet at all times. And all those people are dead. So all those eras of billions and billions of people passing through this earth, how can I assume I'm the only one like me? So this makes me remember that God is such a good God because there are so many people who have lived and died, and he's allowing so many more people to come. And that's why we should celebrate life and have a great life. More on that on another podcast. In today's episode, I want to talk about Neydea Davis of Inglewood, California. She is the Senior Director of Creative Production at REVOLT TV. Now, I don't idolize any human beings, but someone I admire is Sean Diddy Combs, a.k.a. Puff Daddy. I've liked him all my life. I always thought that his music was dope, and I always thought his business acumen was even cooler. And he just made it really dope to be a black man. He owns REVOLT TV. REVOLT TV, for the most part, has picked up where BET of the 2010s left off by showcasing a lot of urban content and music and being really good at it. And I dig that. The other day, I'm on Instagram, and by the other day, I mean last week, and I noticed that REVOLT TV now has a partnership with Frito Lay, the potato chip manufacturer. And in this commercial, you'll see a young black man in his neighborhood walking down the street. This commercial is supposed to exemplify the black experience in America. Also, sprinkled in are a few shots of black men eating potato chips. I'm going to play that commercial for you right now. So if you're listening to this, hold on. If you're watching this,
Joy. Joy. Joy.
Yes, CJ.
Come outside. I got something to show you.
Right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
The block. The cornerstone of the black community. The place where we always have the permission to be our beautiful, authentic selves. Where black joy flourishes.
Watch out. I got you. Watch where you throwing that, little man.
You see it in the nod of a head.
What's up, y'all? How you,
to
bro?
the daps from our friends.
Come on.
In the rhythm of our step. And uncontrollable laughter. And when we taste the goodness of recipes shared through generations. The block is a joy-filled collection. It's family, whether blood or not. A beautiful weaving of brothers and sisters with varying talents, dreams, and ambitions. The block is home. This is the place where we are welcome to be our full, confident, soul-filled, unapologetic selves. Joyfully Black. That joy, a gift we give to ourselves each and every day. Celebrating Black joy and all the moments and blocks it fills.
Okay, so we're back. A few things about the commercial. You'll notice a young Black guy, cornrows, trendy, contemporary urban clothes, walking down the street, daps up some guys, eating potato chips, catches a football. Another Black man is barbecuing on the grill. His eyes gets a bucket, ooh, when the fire hits. I guess it's supposed to be comical. We see some people playing chess, that's nice. And then a voiceover narration saying, celebrating Black people on the block in neighborhoods all around the country, 365 days a year. Something to that extent. Well, I wasn't too excited about the commercial for a plethora of reasons. One of the reasons being that the percentage of Black people who live in neighborhoods where men and women gallivant on the street, just hanging out, is so much lower, significantly lower than it was just 10 or 20 years ago. Black people are spread out across this country more than ever before. There is no centralized core geographical, ideological preferences of Black people in this country anymore. Black people are not monolithic in the sense of we all do the same thing. There are a lot of Black people who don't identify with that type of behavior. And that is not to denigrate my beautiful Black people from hanging out on the block. But I just think that a potato chip company curating a commercial with a Black-owned media company showing Black people eating potato chips on the block is a form of social construction that is not beneficial today. So I respectfully, because I know how hard it is to make video production, movie productions. I'm in the middle of production on my third movie, Valley of the Queens. Please follow us on Instagram, Valley of the Queens, the number 1. And on YouTube, just type in Valley of the Queens LLC. You'll find our YouTube channel. Well, I did my best to leave a thought-provoking and respectful critique of what I thought. So, my critique was this. You mean to tell me a commercial sponsored by a potato chip company is celebrating Black people on the block in hoods because we are some of the biggest consumers of potato chips, unhealthy potato chips, staying on the block has always been a pigeonhole for Black society. This is one of the most disrespectful commercials I've ever seen. This is cap. REVOLT TV should be ashamed of themselves for being behind something like this. Stop the cap. Respect your audience. Little did I know, Neydea Davis herself would comment back. Now, a lot of people commented under this video, and for the most part, it seems like they felt the same way I did, that this wasn't an accurate depiction of contemporary Black life in America. She said, Kevin, has nothing to do with consuming their product. It has everything to do with a Black woman that holds a position at a corporate company using her influence to display the positive side of Black. We not only displayed positivity, but we also hired our own and created this commercial. Every creative on this project is Black and we killed it. Period. Now, in contemporary American vernacular, when a woman of any ethnicity says period, for the most part, that means end of conversation, shut it down, I'm done talking. And she's totally entitled to that opinion, and I know how hard it is to produce content. And again, she and I come from a very similar place. Inglewood is, 15, 20 minutes away from Bellflower? We did not grow up far apart from each other, so I'm very proud of her being who she is. But I think social construction or respectful criticism was warranted. So I replied, fam, no. Just because something is curated and produced by Black people doesn't automatically make it good. I want you to really consider the social construction of the imagery that you're behind in the position that you're in. You do hold power, but not enough to say what is made or what is not. So this shouldn't be taken as a critique on yourself personally. You're not putting the money up to produce such content. You're merely behind the scenes producing with the funds to make said content. I am not trying to be hard on you. I am critiquing the imagery as a whole. And no matter how many dollars behind the scenes go to black creatives or how many black names will appear on the screen, the social construction through imagery is what's most important, and nothing here screams contemporary black excellence. The ideology of the black man or woman, or should I say this ideology of the black man or woman, does not exist anymore. It's a mythos of yesteryear. It is celebrating us being in a common place that no longer produces our best. The idea behind the commercial is based on I think and I feel, not real social contemporary facts of where black people are. In the position you're in, fam, please try and consider these things, because you will be creating more imagery that socially constructs the perception of black America. God bless you, and I wish you success. She never replied, and to be honest with you, and to be fair, she probably has 1,000,010 things in the world to do, so she probably doesn't have time to reply. Why I made that comment was this. Some of you listening to this podcast might be in a position of social construction that you don't even recognize. You might be working the fast food window at your local McDonald's. And just by your appearance and the way that you speak to the people who roll through that line, they might have a completely different perception of people who look like you because of your pleasantness, because of your poise, because of the way you communicate, because of the way you dress. When I wrote my first book, The Art of the Flip, How to Credibly Succeed in Job Interviews, I have a whole chapter talking about stereotypes and how even though stereotypes are not fair, stereotypes are real. So the best way to beat them is to not play into them. I don't mean to forget about your culture or the person you identify as culturally. But what I do mean is don't play into false stereotypes that have been used against people who look like you. I think that this commercial does that. I thought that it was a cheap cash grab for Frito Lay commercial to get a tax write-off to say, hey, we support people of color. Let's show you guys in the hood eating chips on a block. Nobody's producing anything. No one's manufacturing anything. Nobody's building anything. And of course, it's okay to show imagery of people at leisure. Of course. But this seemed a little deeper than that. And for the curator behind it to then be offended by the critique, I think that's proof that it is deeper than that. So, again, I say to Miss Neydea Davis, God bless you, sister. You're in a great position of power. I hope you continue to do amazing things. But please remember your power and the social construction that you are able to generate through the imagery that you are producing at REVOLT TV and in the other things that you do. This episode of the Social Construction Podcast is brought to you by Noxious 2 Cold Case, now streaming on Tubi. Hit the link in the description so you can watch it. Also, hit the link in the description and join my email list so you can always find out about the new movie that I'm producing and the new stuff coming up. And don't forget to watch my first movie, Noxious, also streaming on Tubi. God bless. Happy New Year. This is not going to be the last podcast before the new year. I promise you that. Make sure that you take care of yourself and each other. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
That you got to see. You're now rocking with your boy, Vin Arc MP.